In today's Destiny 2 build guide, we have got the best build for the Warlock for episode Revenant Act 1. In the background gameplay, you're going to see me get my super insanely fast, and I want you to keep in mind I'm not solo in a lost sector, and I'm not at Shirochi where there's just infinite ads spawning. I'm just playing the game as intended, and I can get my super in just under 40 seconds. That is insanely fast considering that I'm only rocking a tier 4 intellect with a super ability cooldown of 7 minutes and 54 seconds. So in this video, we're gonna break down everything that's going on, subclasses, fragments, aspects, mods. So let's get into it.
Yo, it's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video, come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
Let's start off by going over the two key components of this build, and both of them actually got buffed at the beginning of episode Revenant Act 1, and that is the Bad Juju exotic pulse rifle. It comes with the exotic perk String of Curses, kills refill the magazine, increase damage for a short duration, and grant super energy based on the strength of String of Curses. Now, what did Bungie buff about it? Well, they actually increased the lifetime of String of Curses. In case you don't know what String of Curses is, think of it as Rampage. Every time you get a kill, the damage increases a little bit. There was a timer on it for 3.5 seconds, but now it has been raised to 5.5 seconds. So you have more time in between kills to keep that buff going. And we're going to be pairing that with the exotic helmet for the Warlock, the Skull of Dire Ahamkara. This used to be the go-to exotic helmet for Warlocks back in the day, but ever since Bungie nerfed it, it has never been the same. But Bungie has buffed it once again, so this helmet is going to be getting a lot more play. The Skull of Dire Ahamkara exotic perk is the actual grandeur, provides additional damage resistance during Nova Bomb, Nova Bomb final blows, and weapon final blows, while you have Devour grant super energy. And that last part is what they buffed about it. Before, it just gave you super energy on kills with the Nova Bomb, but now when you get Devour active and you get those weapon final blows, aka with the Bad Juju, you're going to be getting extra super energy on top of the extra super energy you already get from the Bad Juju and that exotic perk. So the combination of the exotic pulse and the exotic helmet right there is just super strong already, but we can take it even further with a bunch of mods and fragments. First off, we are on the Prismatic Warlock, and of course we are on the Nova Bomb Cataclysm. Gonna be rocking the Phoenix Dive, gonna be rocking the Arcane Needle for our melee so we can unravel targets, debuff them, and then I'm rocking the Storm Grenade. You can actually switch this up and use the Vortex Grenade. Some people might make the argument that the Vortex Grenade is better. Use either one, Vortex or the Storm Grenade, because I'm actually using a fragment that benefits both of these. Then first up for our aspect, we're gonna be using the Hellion. Whenever we activate our class ability, we're going to summon a solar mortar, which damages enemies, and it'll actually scorch and ignite them, which is really nice. And then of course we're going to need to get Devour if we want to proc the exotic perk on the Skull of Dire Ahamkara. So we've got the Feed the Void aspect, defeat a target with any ability to activate Devour, and then when Devour is active and we get a kill, it's going to give us additional health and it's going to give us more grenade energy back. I pretty much use Feed the Void on every single Warlock build, and you should too. One of the best aspects in the game. Then getting into our fragments, we have Facet of Protection. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. While Transcendent, the effect is increased. It gives you a plus 10 to strength. This is going to help keep us alive in that endgame content. Then we have Facet of Grace. Defeating targets with kinetic weapons grants you bonus Transcendence energy. Defeating targets with your super grants you and your nearby allies bonus Transcendence energy. It does take away 10 resilience, but the reason we're using this is because obviously Bad Juju is a kinetic weapon, so we're going to be getting a ton of Transcendence energy. Moving on from there, we have Facet of Purpose. Picking up an Orb of Power grants either Amplified, Restoration, Frost Armor, Woven Mail, or Overshield based on the damage type of our equipped super. So since we're on the Nova Bomb, we're going to be getting Overshield, which is going to allow us to take a little bit more damage before we die. Then up next, we have the Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage grants grenade energy. So we're going to be getting light damage from our grenade. We got light damage from our solar aspect. And then we actually have dark damage from our arcane needle when we debuff and unravel. So that pairs really well with the facet of balance. And then lastly, we have facet of dominance. Your void grenades weaken targets and your arc grenades jolt targets. So going back to earlier, that's why I said you can either use storm grenade or the vortex grenade. I like the storm grenade. I feel like it's better for ad clear and jolting a bunch of enemies. So maybe you're going for more of a DPS build, then you definitely want to use the vortex grenade because whatever the vortex grenade hits is going to weaken that enemy. Now moving on from there, let's take a look at the armor mods. First up, we have Ashes to Assets, gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. This is going to help us get our super even faster. Then we have Dynamo, reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near targets, once again feeding into more super energy. Then we have a Kinetic Siphon, rapid kinetic weapon final blows create an orb of power. We're going to be maining that Bad Juju, so that Bad Juju is just going to keep spitting out orbs for us. Then on the gauntlets, we have a firepower mod. So our grenade final blows are going to create orbs of power, giving us more super energy. Then we have impact induction, causing damage with a powered melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. So since we have the arcane needle, we're going to have a bunch of melee charges that we can keep throwing. We're going to get our grenade back even faster. We throw our grenade and that's going to activate the firepower, and you just rinse and repeat with that. On the chest piece, you can use reserve mods, resistant mods, whatever you guys need in the chest piece. And then I also have a charge up mod to increase the maximum number of stacks of armor charge that I can get. Then on the legs, we have insulation. It reduces class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. Then we have recuperation. It's going to replenish our health each time we pick up an orb of power. And then I also slapped on a kinetic weapon surge. So our kinetic weapon is going to do a little bit more damage, aka our Bad Juju. It's going to be a little bit more beefed up on top of the exotic perk, which gives it more damage, that string of curses. So that's really nice. Then on the class item, we have Reaper. After we use our class ability, the next weapon final blow is going to give us an orb of power. And then I'm rocking 2 bomber mods to reduce the grenade cooldown when we use our class ability. For the artifact, I do not have all the artifact mods unlocked yet, but some things to consider is Supernova. Picking up a Void Breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. That could be pretty nice for this build. And then once again, if you're leading into those Void Breaches, you can use Served Cold. Picking up a Void Breach grants you melee energy. Then another artifact perk you're going to want to run is Power from Pain. Remember, when you're using that Vortex Grenade, it weakens targets, and this states that rapid final blows against weakened combatants grants you Devour. So this is just another way for you to get Devour in case you can't get an ability kill. And then, of course, Bad Juju's a pulse rifle, and we have Unstoppable Pulse Rifle this season, which is really nice. And that is pretty much going to do it for the build, guys. Really strong build. I ran a whole 50 waves of Onslaught earlier, and at the end of the match, I ended up creating over 250 orbs, and my other teammates didn't even get close due to the fact that I could just keep spamming Nova Bombs. Definitely try this out. I'm going to put a dim link down in the pinned comment, so go check that out if you want to use it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Leave a like if you found this helpful. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.